So let's get back into StarCraft and start the first game. This is a Terran vs. Terran matchup between Starfox and Atticus. And it starts on Overgrowth. So he's spawning here in the lower left portion of Overgrowth is our green Terran player, Starfox. And spawning in the upper right portion of Overgrowth is our red Terran player. He is the mastermind and brainchild behind this entire tournament that we've got going on, so thank you to him. Let's give a very warm welcome and loud hand so he can hear it at his home, wherever that may be. Our red Terran player, Atticus. So thanks again to Atticus for putting this whole tournament together, getting everybody in. We had 14 participants start. We are down to the round of 8 now. This is the last of the round of 16 matches that hadn't been broadcasted yet. This was played a good portion of a week ago. So if anybody's looking for spoilers, they can be found on the Older Gamers website or on the commercial screens of this broadcast. Let's see, we've got refineries for both players going down here, so early gas possibly for Reaper opening, or Hellion is a very popular opening. Terran vs. Terran can get a little bit hairy, so I'd like to see some early action, so we'll see if these players can oblige for us. So got barracks going down. The barracks just now starting for Starfox, about halfway done for Atticus here. You're welcome, Atticus. And again, thanks again for heading this up and for I mean, it's been great fun. There's been lots of comments about how enjoyable the games are to play, the camaraderie that comes about with these tournaments. I'm having a great time talking about them, and popular rumor is that others are having a great time listening to me talk about them. So I hope people are smiling and laughing with me and not at me, but either way is just fine by me. Anything I can do to make people smile. The Reaper coming out now to get started for Atticus. And it looks like he's got one more queued behind it. So this Reaper, let's see if we can find this rally point. Follow the white line. Over here to the third, okay. And we've got a scouting SCV over here for Starfox at the natural. Alright, orbital command finished up for Atticus and just now finishing up for Starfox. Factory coming down now for Atticus, or for Starfox, excuse me. And the second command center getting started for Atticus with the scouting SCV. Just checking it out. Hey, what's up? I'm going to come poke at you with my drill. It's SCV Wars, ladies and gentlemen. And here comes his buddy to help him out. No, I'm going to poke you with my drill. Okay, sorry. Too much fun. Here comes the first Reaper. Heading on down. Factory now on the way for Atticus. As we continue with SCV Wars up here at the top. 2 SCVs. Okay, so there's one getting taken out. So the SCVs are trying to do work with the Reaper. Reaper's doing good micro to not die. And so what do we have? 3 SCVs lost now, as we have two early Hellions now on the field for Starfox. So 2 Hellions versus 2 Reapers. I'm going to put my money on the Hellions. And a second factory coming down now for Atticus. Second barracks already... No, barracks was moved, excuse me. There's the factory with 2 more Hellions. So early Hellion pressure for Starfox. Second command center on the way. Second gas on the way now for Starfox as well. Atticus second is already finished up. Bunker going down to help with some of the pressure. Second Marine now being produced as the reactor is finishing up on the first factory, and the second factory is about to finish up. So you can expect to see this with Terran as the starport now goes down for Atticus. Here come the 4 Hellions on the way. Widow Mine's now out. 2 more Widow Mines in production. So nothing but factory here. We've got the engineering base, so with factory units I expect to see an armory going down soon so that we can have Hellbat play, which as a Zerg player really sucks. I imagine that SCVs don't do too well against Hellbats either. So a couple of idle workers, there they go, jumping into the refinery as the starport finishes up here for Atticus. A couple SCVs working now, one just kind of hanging out, flexing over here for Atticus. Some spotting units out here for Atticus as well. Starfox has some units. I'd like to see him poke a little bit with this, just kind of get an idea of what's going on. I think he could get his Hellions back here and do a little bit of work on some workers, at least deny some mining time, if not kill some workers. But he's waiting for the troops to rally up, as the armory is over halfway completed now. Armory also going down on the other side of the map for Atticus. But not a whole lot going on. One Hellion sees what's going on for... No, Atticus pushing with some Hellions. Starfox escaping a little bit. Scan goes down. And 8 versus 2, I don't like the chances on this one for Atticus. 7 versus 2, excuse me. Still not a good number. Siege tank now at the wall protecting, holding down the fort. Another factory, a third factory goes down now for Atticus. So Atticus with the mech heavy composition as well. 2 factories on both sides. Armory's finished up for Starfox, as it is for Atticus. Hellbats now transformed, 6 of them for Atticus. Starfox starting his starport as Atticus gets a Viking on the field. So 3 factories producing now, ready to produce, able to produce, not actually producing, for Atticus. Scan goes down and sees the Widow Mine out in front that took out this Hellion. But with nothing behind to support, he just kind of knows that it's there. This map's actually really good for seeing the textures. If you look at, let me see if I can see it. No, you can't see it there. We'll have to talk about it later. For actually seeing the little dimple that these guys create, so if you don't actually have any detection on the field, you can still see them really good. And I think this map is probably the easiest one to see burrowed Widow Mines. Pretty good saturation on the natural for Starfox. Atticus with some idle workers over here, but also has some saturation here. Nothing but Hellions and a couple of tanks. The tanks look like they're getting ready for defense. Here comes a couple of tanks and some Hellbats as Atticus sends over to start his third base on the red side of the map. So slight supply lead for Atticus, but he is... Okay, Starfox just comes out of his supply block. He was supply blocked for a moment. Here comes a Hellion driving by, but I don't know if he saw any of that coming his way. So here's the tank Hellbat push. A couple of Widow Mines hanging out here in front. See how he handles those. He's going to walk right into it. Oh, he throws down the scan, sees him, and takes him out. Starfox throws the scan down as well and sees the army that's sitting right in front of his doorstep. Starfox denied the third base with his Hellion back here. Atticus doing work with siege tanks. Scan goes down to give himself a little more range. Starts to take out some of these Hellions. He's going to have to do something. So he's actually doing a lot of work on these Hellbats with the siege tanks that he has behind. See what kind of work he can do on the siege tanks themselves. All of his Hellions go down. And Atticus has a big supply lead, about 50 supply lead, 45 supply lead right now. So more units streaming across the map. Hellbats coming down. We'll try to get into a little bit of a full frontal situation with Starfox, but right now we're just kind of sieged in to our positions. This actually benefits Atticus quite a bit because He actually has map control now. He's got Starfox pinned in. Doesn't have anywhere to go. Can't really push out. Can't move his tanks any further forward. The Vikings are offering some air vision, so he can see exactly what what he's got over here. So he doesn't. The vision of the tanks is not as wide as the range on the tanks. So having a medevac or Vikings or a scan will actually help maximize the range of the siege tanks. So Atticus has Starfox pinned in, and he's got over a 50 supply lead right now, with this third base now going down. Engineering bay is going down. Second engineering bay, rather. And he's just going to continue to rally the troops here in front and box them in. He's getting a little too close. Taking a little bit of damage, but now he's going to do work over here on the refinery. Took out the SCV that was building it. So the refinery does not finish for Starfox here at the Natural. Good saturation at both bases. And actually his third base is pretty well saturated as well as Starfox. So good economy, or Atticus. So Atticus with good economy, good position on the map. This is actually going to be a great place to park a tank right here. A scan will actually get these SCVs right here, as units continue to stream across the map for Atticus. Oh, there's your vision right there, so we don't even need to scan. So the vision by the Viking gives this, all this area right here for Atticus. Starfox is going to try to push this back. It's not going to be very successful. There's just too much here. 70 supply lead now for Atticus. Continuing to do work these tanks over on the mineral line. At this point it looks like Atticus is content just to bleed Starfox out completely. Keep him held back in his position. Not going to be able to move out. Only got 8 workers mining at the Natural. Running out of minerals, starting to deplete his resources there at the main. So this is going to be a slow and painful death for Starfox unless he figures out a way to break this siege. Actually creates a little bit of a hole for himself. Put these tanks out of position over here. Take out some more workers along the mineral line. And I think there's actually enough here now, and not enough over here, that Starfox could unsiege these tanks and start pushing out and give himself a little bit of breathing room. Factory flying overhead to see exactly what's going on. Nothing back here to kill it. No Marines, no Vikings. So it's just going to sit here and provide vision. So there's a Thor, a couple Thors on the field. There are siege tanks coming back into position to hole him in. These siege tanks still denying mining over here on this side of the base. Hellions coming in to try to do some work. There's just too much here. I think his window came and went. One siege tank. And really, I'd like to see him just unsiege these, push them forward, and start to chip away at some of this over here, especially these siege tanks. Because I really think it's there. I think he's got enough there with this firepower. I think the Hellions just are too light to be able to push back what's going on over here. Up to 86 supply lead now for Atticus, 166 to 77. 6 factories constantly producing units back here for Starfox, but he's not going to have enough money to pay for them once he's all mined out here. Only 2 patches left at the main. Really can't mine from these patches here because of the tanks over here. This is just going to be a slow and painful bleed for Starfox. And Atticus is content just to hold him up. As he should be at this point. approaching 100 supply lead for Atticus as mech units continue to stream across the map. 6 factories producing for Atticus, so he's got the same amount of production on with the 4th base up now for Atticus. Equal production, much larger economy, and now well over 100, almost 120 supply lead at this point for Atticus. More workers going down from the tanks that are sieged up over here. Again, denying mining over here. As natural is, there's actually a Hellbat drop here at the natural. Not that there was any resources left over here, but 26 workers now down for Starfox. Only 38 supply left. No income on the field right now. 240 mineral income, and there's GG. So the slow, painful death worked out for Starfox, or for Atticus, excuse me, as he takes a 1-0 lead in this best of 3. We'll double check and see if we have a Zell sighting yet. Do not have a Zell sighting yet, so we will move on to game 2 in the best of 3 between Atticus and Starfox. Hope y'all are enjoying the stream. I hope the quality is good on the stream. Most importantly, I hope the games are good on the stream. So here we are on... What map is this? This is Deadwing. Okay, so we're on Deadwing now. Spawning in the lower right-hand portion of Deadwing with a 1-0 deficit in this best of 3. Our green Terran player, Starfox. And spawning in the upper right-hand portion of Deadwing with a change in trunks from the last game, going from red to blue. We now have a blue Terran player. It is the older gamer's Atticus. So again, identical, straightforward stuff from the 2 players. See if Starfox, what he has planned to bring this series back level and force a deciding game 3. Refineries go down for both players. And scouts come out for both players. Barracks gets started for both players. And the scout is going to see that he's found his opponent. And both players guess correctly and find their opponent on the first try. So we can effectively cut the map in half, right down the middle here, as most of the action should take place right in this area. So barracks finishing up for both players. First Marine comes out for Atticus. Factory in production to start for Starfox. Stopped mining gas here, so I think he made the factory, mined enough gas to make the factory, and it looks like he's probably going to just start pumping out Hellions with the reactor there. So yeah, knew what gas he needed and produced that amount, and that's where we're at. So as Atticus continues to mine gas and take his second base just now starting for Atticus. No second in sight for Starfox. See if he decides to expand or if he's going to produce units. As he lands the factory and gets 2 Hellions in production right away. Factory now goes down for Atticus. So opted for the expand first for our Blue Terran versus the unit production. And now the command center going down on the high ground for Starfox. Command center about halfway done for Atticus here in game 2 in this best of 3. Atticus builds the reactor. Now he's going to start a tech lab on his factory, or on his barracks as his factory completes. Second gas taken and saturated. Saturation goes back on for Starfox, and the second one is about finished up for Starfox. Engineering bay goes down. I wonder if we're going to see some Hellion play as well, or Hellbat play rather, once we get a armory on the field. Another factory going down, second factory now for Atticus. Got a barracks just hanging out over here for Starfox. I wonder if he's going to use that for spotting or if he's just forgot about it. A couple of Widow Mines now for a little defensive support. As the command center is finishing up, making it an orbital. Still no orbital here on the second command center for Atticus. I wonder if he's forgot about it. And he starts training an SCV. Starport now coming after the 2 factories for Atticus. Getting saturated on his main. We've got an idle SCV right here, so that would take care of the saturation on the main. Really like to see an orbital on this here so that we can see the mules and the scans being able to come down, and there it goes, just as we speak. Orbital being floated into place at the natural for Starfox, as a couple of Widow Mines are burrowed, and a couple more ready for orders on the green side. So second factory now finishing up, and a starport right behind for our Green Terran player. Here comes the armory down for Starfox. Blue Flame coming in for these Hellions now. We didn't see these upgrades in the first game, but they're coming in to play for the second game for Atticus. See if he's planning on dropping these. I don't see an armory going down, so I don't know that it's going to be Hellbat play. 2 medevacs coming in, so I'm figuring that he's going to pick these up and drop them just in time for Blue Flame to finish up. And this should do some work on the mineral lines. Nothing over here that can shoot up. No Vikings been produced yet. He's got them loaded up, completely loaded up. And away they go. So Widow Mines down here. Widow Mines would be great over here. There's one turret, but it should be easily boosted by these medevacs. So Starfox continuing to build units. And these are actually rallied right here to the turret, so I hope he sees what's going on before he loses the world. Yep, he sees the turrets. He's going to drop. Okay, he gets all of them in before losing both medevacs. And they're going to go to work on the mineral line. 7 workers now with Blue Flame on these Hellions. 12 workers, and there's a line. If he can catch up to these, he should be able to get some good shots on them. 15 workers down now. Siege tanks here to help out. He's going to take some friendly fire. 22 workers down. 23 workers down. Down to 7 SCVs Starfox is before cleaning that up with the help of the Widow Mines and the Siege tanks. So big economic damage done by our Blue Terran player here in the second game. Continuing to produce units. A couple of Vikings now. A few Hellions, a Siege tank. Here comes the army for Starfox. He's actually got a pretty big army compared to what Atticus has, as Atticus takes a 3rd base, but the economy is just not there. back up to 9 SCVs, continuing to produce. Going to need help with mules. Here comes the engagement at the third base of StarFox. Looks like he's going to take out the Hellions. Going to get the siege tank. Widow mines are going to burrow for not a whole lot. Gets a cancel on the third. And maybe Starfox is going to get the box in on Atticus at this point. So this army's going to work on the base of the blue player. Widow mines get burrowed, but a scan drops, and he's able to clean those up with the siege tanks. Units, workers going down now. 3 workers down. He loses the reactor, or the refinery rather, at his natural, does Atticus. But there's just not a whole lot left, and I just don't think there's a whole lot of economy behind. He's got 11 workers on the map right now, to 42 for Atticus. So Atticus should be able to leverage this advantage in workers, this economic advantage, to a pretty straightforward win. He's got to know how much damage he did, but by the fact that he's sieging up, I think he's expecting another push coming from somewhere. Got a lot more Hellions on the field though, and +1 armor. About to finish up for, got +1 weapons for the green Terran, and +1 weapons, I think, just finishing up, or about to finish up, for Atticus. So as he continues to rally his workers, or his army rather, to the third base, and gets his third base started again, Starfox still continues to produce units on a very, very small economy. 17 SCVs now for Starfox to 44 for Atticus. So good saturation on the main and the natural, as units continue to stream in and fortify over here at the front of the third for Atticus. Atticus enjoying a 25 supply lead at this point. 35 supply lead at this point, excuse me. And I really think the next engagement will decide this. Spotting Marines coming in for Atticus. Sees that there's no third. Scans and sees the army here at the natural with not a whole lot of SCVs. We're at 23 SCVs to 46, so he's got them doubled up at this point. And I really would like to see Atticus just push this advantage. He should be able to get in and do work here. Third base finished up. Orbital command is finished up. Refinery going down on the geyser. And a missile turret going down in the front to fortify that home position there at the edge of the third base. The longer Starfox waits, the more opportunity he's given. The longer Atticus waits, excuse me, the more opportunity he's giving Starfox to get back into this economically. As we can see now, 29 SCVs. He was down to 7, if you remember. Back up to 29 SCVs for our green Terran Starfox. Scan goes down, sees exactly what he needs to see here at the natural. It's a very fortified position as he continues to get his economy up. +2 upgrade now coming in for Atticus. Second starport coming down. I wonder if we're going to see any more drop play. We get 4 medevacs loaded into a... 4 Hellions, rather, loaded into a medevac. Man, can't talk right this afternoon. So here comes the medevac for Starfox, making his way with an escort over to the base of the blue Terran. But here comes the cavalry for Atticus to lay siege on Starfox here at his base. So there goes the medevac, but it's clearly not going to be enough. This engagement right here is what's going to decide this game. If Atticus gets a good engagement, it should be GG. If Starfox holds off, this game could be going on for a while. And he starts to move out. He moves into it with none of the siege tanks sieged up for our blue Terran Atticus. 3 SCVs lost for Starfox, and yeah, just rolls over. Upgrades do work, and that's GG. So a very efficient 2-0 victory for our blue Terran this time, Atticus. Again, the organizer of this tournament, great job there, and a shout out to Atticus for what you've done for us on this tournament. So.